Oh, but yeah, since yesterday, I was confused because they kept saying Landon, and the name sounded familiar, but I couldn't remember. And so I thought it was like maybe the first name of Bringer, who was one of the antagonists who turned into the sacrifice. But I looked it up after yesterday's stream, and I found out that I was wrong. Landon was one of the head exaltists, or at least a well-renowned exaltist, and he died a while ago. And because I was thinking, like, well, Bringer, like, if it was Bringer didn't die that long ago, So it's like, well, it's like Vivian whole thing was saying, oh, you leave when Landon died, and I'm like, Bringer, like, he died like a few months ago, right? So like, it's not that long. But Landon did die ages ago. So it's like, oh, okay, I get it. So Landon was a big scientist. He died. Vivian chose that time to leave. That must have been when she found. Maybe we were the ones who inspired her, and that's why she left upon Landon's death. Right, like Landon's death gave her the time to like have a little more retrospective and realize, oh, you know what? Fuck this. I don't like this anymore. So maybe that was it. So it's hard to tell, obviously, because she was surprised that that secretary girl didn't leave on Landon's death too. So presumably they knew each other very well. So, but yeah, so at the very least, it's been a few years. So I don't know if we were the one who inspired her to leave, because she did say that we inspired her. It's hard to tell when that happened, right? She was not living a great life, so maybe. So I don't know if it was something like she got picked up by Mockingbird immediately, or like maybe we provided her with enough introspection for sure that she's realizing, oh, actually, I don't want to do this or that, right? And so that's why she decided to leave because of us. And then that's when she met Mockingbird and started her new life. But yeah, so I don't know specifically when Landon died. I know he was referenced multiple times. I shouldn't remember who he was, which is kind of annoying because, like, that's the biggest problem about gacha games that tell a relatively decent story, is that they are subject to their patch cycle, and so they do release good shit and interesting content, but they release it every 6 weeks. So whatever story they're going to tell, they're going to tell the story in chunks every 6 weeks, which makes it hard to kind of like keep things straight. To be like, oh, okay, well, what happened to who and when? It's like, sure, and like for the most part, for the stuff that you actually participate in, that's fine, right? Like, sure, I will remember fighting Bringer. I remember that part. But the problem is for the backstory shit. It's like all of it is told like via dialogue, which is not going to be super memorable because it's like, oh yeah, they just, they had a one-off conversation where they mentioned this, and you're like supposed to remember that. Oh yeah, I remember like these few conversations while we were doing something else. that they brought this up. It's like, no, like no one's gonna remember that shit. Especially when like you're releasing it piecemeal every like. Oh yeah, I gotta. Especially when you're releasing it piecemeal every. Yeah, I can't do that while I'm in my story mode. So when you release it piecemeal like that, it just makes it hard to remember because it's hard to. You just don't have the context, right? Like you don't have the. The star? What store was it? Where's the one? This one? Which store was it? They're like, yeah, because normally they put it so you're like facing the store. Like maybe I moved. Like the store. What am I supposed to do? Like, they had my character facing this way, but the camera facing this way. Like, what store is it? Is it a therapy store? Okay. It's that one then. I was pointing at that one before. Like, this was the first store I pointed to. Oh my god, you didn't put me close enough to it. It was also stupid because the camera was angled this way, while my character was facing the correct way of the store I needed to do. And that's why I was like, oh, okay, cool. Because like normally all you gotta do is just, hit the camera button, and you'll be pointed the right way. But this time it didn't work because they also teleported you in too far away. So when you do the camera button, normally when you're close enough, it'll say, oh, target spotted, But this time, because they didn't teleport me nearly close enough, it failed. Okay, so my resident did all that shit. It should be good. Just continue the quest for now. If I have any extra, depending how long this is going to take, if I have any extra time, I can maybe do my weekly bosses. Oh, it still locks the second one. Interesting. I wonder why we can't get a full party of 3. Unless they're like the first one was like, okay, sure, like it's an intermediary one. We're not gonna make it too challenging. But then either this is not going to be super challenging, or they're going to like add an agent for you. They're like, oh, we're reserving this because maybe like Lycon's going to help you out or something.
そんな大事なもの、俺が自らもそれにレイブンロック家と三商会が協力関係を結んでもう何年にもなる。サクリファイスのコアはこたびの協力。今日はコアの真贋を確認しに来ただけです。確認できし、私たちは口約束で協力しているわけではありません。もちろんだとも。お前の確認が済んだら。はい、案内。
That is incredibly suspicious. The fact that he's demanding she show up. It's like, does she really need to appear in person? Like.
欲の皮が突っ張りですが、サクリファイスのコアという重要なものを引き取るのに、どうしてそれにカミエルはどうやらハルトマンが言ってたディナって人。ええ、パイトン様、急ぎ出発しましょう。ハル
Supposedly the creator is the main dude.
その時はビビアンに任せるからね。安心して任せてほしい。エテリアス、パイトン様には指一本触れさせません。はっはっやっはっはっ、了解。交渉材料を引き出そうと。
That was weird. I'm sorry she didn't. I saw the balloons. I'm surprised I didn't track from any of her little things.
気づかれないように、まずはここを離れましょう。やっ。パイトン様、引き続き先へ進みましょう。
Oh god damn it! They're all dead. God, I wasted my energy.
触らせません。パイトン様、敵は私にお任せください。え、奇襲なのです。ふん、はっ、時間の無駄です。引き継ぎます。彼らはまだあそこで言い合っているようですね。この隙に急いで先へ進みましょう。ハルトマンと三商会、サクリファイスのコアはどちらの手に渡っても危険です。箱の中身をこちらに渡してください。バラセンプ、さもなくば容赦しません。
おお、大きく出たな、お嬢さん。そういうのは俺。
早くサクリファイスのコアを。です。
Yeah, this is obviously a trap.
パイトン様。
Oh, but the core is so small. That's so weird, right? Like every up until this point, every single time we've come up to it, has been a big green crystal surrounded by the other aether crystals, and yet supposedly the sacrifice core fits inside a small briefcase like that. Like what?
まさかハルトマン。
お前たち、箱の中にあったコアはどこへやった？ハルトマン様。
Oh, is it gonna be? I bet it's gonna be that blonde-haired dude. He stole it. I knew he was alive. Oh, I guess not. That's not a blonde. Oh, that's Dina? Really? That's interesting.
Dina! 私のことをあなたがあんまり元気そうだからもう昔
Does she like rejuvenate herself? Is that it? Is she using the sacrifice core to like restore her youth? She like looks like a child.
どうしちゃったの？あなたのせいで死んだ。あの時は知らなかった？なら違う。ディナ様、ビビアン。お黙りカミエル。そもそも なぜあなたがハルト。
私はただ先にサクリファイス。
そうなの？ああ、カミエル、あの時ビビアンのヨタ話を
滅相もありません。
I see. So, father is what's his name again? God damn it. Landon. So presumably, I guess maybe she tried to conspire, which maybe that's what led to Landon's death.
裏切ろうなんて思わないで、カミエル。けどあなたの心配はもっともね。確かに。
そんなはずはない。このコアは俺がヒューゴから奪ったものだ。
Okay, Hugo's the blonde vampire. That was it. Hugo. Yeah, I assume. Yeah, I mean, I kind of assumed that it was fake. So that means that Hugo had the real one, and he probably used it on himself to survive. Which is exactly what I said happened.
None の証拠もなく偽物などと。
サクリファイスのコアはね、体内けどご覧なさい、あなたの部下を。お父様が始まりの主に捧げた作品はこんなお粗末なものじゃなかったわ。
Oh, actually, no, she even calls him father, too. So I guess maybe all of them worked under Landon. Maybe she was still a higher rank than the other two. But yeah, this is kind of the kind of bullshit you get with the cults. They try to promote his family, to try to, like, bind people together, to be more restrictive, to be more controlling and manipulative.
あなたはどう思う、ビビアン？知りません。本物の子。ディナ、あなたはサクリファイスが何であるかこれ以上ないくらい分かっているはず。間違い？誰が祝福を授かるか。あなたが涙を流さなければ彼ら今さら善人ぶらない。
Yeah, that's what. Now I really hope she doesn't blame herself. Like, if it wasn't for your tears, I was like, oh, it wasn't for my tears, really? You're the ones who put me in the situation. You're the ones who took a child and forced her into a situation and then acted upon, and then you were the ones who acted upon it. Like, oh, it's your tears. It's like, okay, so because you put me in a situation and I cried and then you did something, how is this in any way my fault? You orchestrated the situation and you're the one who actually committed the deeds. And you're like, well, no, I did it because you cried. It's like, what? Because I had an autonomic response? You know, and like, it's not like just crying, right? No, like she has some like weird empathy bond, and then she cries because of that. But again, it's something that she can't control. It's something that just happens, and it only happens because of the situation that you put her in. And then even then, it's not like she cried and then like took the core and jammed it into their body herself. It's like, no. You put her in a situation which caused a reaction within her that she can't control, and then you acted upon that, and yet you're blaming her, right? Their fates were in your hands. No, they weren't. Like, how could their fates be in Vivian's hands when her own fate wasn't in her own hands, right? She was being controlled by your group. So how, when she can't even control her own fate, how can you say she bears the responsibility for others? And to be fair, I don't think she actually believes this, right? I mean, maybe she does. Maybe she is that crazy, right? But I don't think she actually believes this. She's obviously, it's pure manipulative. It's just gaslighting, manipulative tactics. Yeah, exactly. Because it's like the whole thing is like, oh yeah, it's your fault. It's like, oh really? So you mean he didn't do any of these human experiments until I showed up? Because if it was my fault, then clearly he would never have done this before then, because it's my fault. So he can't blame me as the cause when he was doing the exact same shit before meeting her ever, right? Now, it's hard to say, right? Because like, we don't know how old Vivian is. Like, Landon's been long dead. If she was the one who orchestrated his death, to try in her attempt to escape, and maybe not even orchestrated his death, maybe she was just trying to orchestrate an escape, which inadvertently led to his death, for all we know. Like, it's hard to say, right? They haven't been super clear. Yeah, okay, so she actually does believe this because she is insane. Got it? She's not... I didn't know if she was just a master manipulator, or if she was, like, legit crazy. But no, she is legit crazy, got it? She has a level of fanaticism towards the Exaltus, which leads her to, like, warp reality to suit the idea that the Exaltus are correct and everyone else who is against them is incorrect, and it is their own fault. So I guess it's kind of weird, though, because at this point, if she was going to be a sacrifice herself, that would mean that they're all pretty much at the same level. You know, like Dina, Vivian, Camille. So it's kind of weird that Dina, you know, is seemingly leading, Camille just helping. Although it seems like Dina did something, and it's probably her fanaticism that led her to be put as in the leadership position, is because of how completely insane she is and devoted to the cause. They're like, okay, cool, like this is the type of person you want in leadership positions for a crazy cult. So that makes sense to a degree. And then, like, when Landon died, Dina probably found Camille. Probably didn't even do much at all. You know, she probably just brought her under her wing because she's like, "Oh, Camille, I did so much for you. You owe me a debt after what happened." It's like, chances are, what she did was so minor, and probably even nothing. Right? She probably did nothing. She just took her under her wing and then just pretended that she was protecting her. You know, and being like, "Yep, you owe me." You know, that feels like what it is.
あなたがコアを渡さないというなら言ったはずなのです。コアはパイトン様、タイミングを見計らってここを離れましょう。そうじゃあ
Kind of weird, right? Like, he rushes the car he summoned. So, like, there's ether crystals all around. It's surprising that, like, cars and stuff like that don't get affected. Although maybe it is just purely because it has to be...
ドレスが汚れると言ってるのです。やっ！はあ、やっ！どっかにあだなした報いよ。はっ！怪盗様に近づかないでください。キリがない。僕じゃ。
Oh, I thought it was going to be you guys.
尊敬は吉、共に勝つ。
何を？
そこは邪気がやばい。厄介な場所だぞ。役が嫌なら東南へ行け。行けって。どうも。
That looks cool.
やっと生成した。お前さんがリンだろ。メイフラワーに言われたもんでね。私こそは雲岳山第13代宗主。
He sounded like the shit she was using. Was very like Exorcist like. So she, I don't know, was Miyabi part of it? Like I know Miyabi was like part of her own little Exorcist thing, so it might be. Didn't they mention there were other families? Can't remember. But yeah, I mean, obviously Miyabi is also a Exorcist person. She has the demon sword in her thing to fight demons. She obviously was using a lot of a heavily Exorcist themed stuff. Like some of the, like when the explosion happened, there was like burning talismans and stuff. So it's like using talismans and shit. Is Mayflower Miyabi? Or is Mayflower somebody else?
最初はとんだ厄介事を押し付けられたとも思った。あ、市長さんが言ってたすごい。ああ、しばらくお前さん。指導？
Oh, you're gonna become an exorcist too?
とは、私は別の調査のついでだし、また適当な頃。
すみません、パエトン様。今日はもうフォローを出たいと思います。そうだね。
Yeah, is she not feeling well because she met Dina and that, or was it something about the exorcist herself?
パエトン様、もう済まれますか？別に私は急いでないよ。私もやもやしてるなら、他でもないパエトン。小さい頃から不幸をもたらす人間だとみなされてきたわ。ランドンが私を養女にして山椒会に連れて行くまでは。
Yeah, like, and that's what I find crazy. And like, luckily it seems like she didn't like doubt herself, although maybe that's why she's depressed a little bit now because of what Dina said. But it's like, it's this crazy thing where it's like, she was adopted at a time when she was emotionally vulnerable, and he manipulated this emotionally vulnerable child and used her abilities. And then we have Dina saying, oh yeah, it's your fault. You were the ones who held their fate in your hands. Like, no. Like, how can she hold other people's fate in her hands when she doesn't even hold her own fate, right? It makes no fucking sense. But that's just the crazy logic that happens. It's the same kind of thing that happens in stories, right? Like, you have a serial killer going after a person, right? It's like, oh, I'm a serial killer, or I'm just an obsessed stalker or whatever, chasing after a person, right? And the person runs away. And as they're running away, the killer, takes one of their friends hostage or something, or kills a friend to be like, look, it's your fault because you ran away, this person is dead because I killed them looking for you. Or like, one of those situations where it's like, oh, you should have been at this location, so I killed the person at that location, but it ended up being someone else, and it's your fault because you weren't there, this innocent person had to die. And it's just like, no, you're the one who killed that person. Like, just because you use me as the motivation, or like just because you use that character as the motivation for your crime, it's like just because you're obsessed with this person doesn't mean that they're responsible for your actions. Like, because if you think about it, even if it wasn't that person, it would have been someone else, right? Even if you weren't obsessed with this person, you would have been obsessed with someone else and done the same things. So clearly it's not the person of your obsession who's at fault, it's you. Because you're the one doing this stuff. And it's like, it's always been the case. But the problem is that there's so many stories that happen where similar shit happens, where it's like, oh, okay, so because a crazy person did something, and they tell you that the reason they did it was because of you, somehow you're at fault. It's like, no. You're a crazy person, right? At no point did I ever condone this. At no point did I ever direct you to do this. Like, I have no responsibility for the acts of a crazy person. If you did something crazy, that's your own fault. Just because I happen to be the reason that you've given yourself to do these things doesn't mean shit. Because you're the one doing it, regardless of the reason. That's why most people don't murder. It's not like they have a reason not to murder. It's just it's not a natural thing to do. Most people don't feel the need or desire to murder, right? It's just like they don't even need an excuse. They don't even need a reason. They just don't murder. Like that's just how it is, you know? So you saying, oh, well, I'm here, I'm the reason, or this character's the reason, it's like, well, no, that makes no fucking sense. And so like in this, makes even less sense, because it's not even like, you know, it's not even like a couple, right? Or people who like, two people who were dating, right? Or who did a few dates, but then the girl's like, nah, you're kind of creepy and weird, and then you know, chooses to ghost him, or to like say, no, I'm not interested. And then he, you know, obsessively stalks her and kills people around her and blames her like that. Like, these are two adults, right? Like, you're both adults. Like, in that situation, obviously she's not at fault. It's all him. But like in this situation, she was a child, right? She was an emotionally vulnerable child who was taken in by an insane cultist who, you know, manipulated her and used her for his own ends. Like, no, she's not. And again, I mean, so Dina said like, oh, think of all the people you killed. Now, I assume she meant, especially because of what she said later, that she means that because you cried, because we used your ability to determine whether someone should live or die or whatever, right? Because we used that as a barometer. Any deaths as a result of that is your fault. It was like, well, I assume that's what it means, because she initially said death, kills, and like, well, like Vivian was forced to, as part of your cult, kill people. But then she immediately went into the whole, oh, okay, your ability decided their fate. It's like, okay, well then no, it's not her fault, right? Like, her ability is something that automatically happens, and you orchestrated the situation. You and your cult organized the situation with which her ability was used automatically, and then you were the ones who actually committed the crimes afterwards. How is it her fault that you forced her hand? It's not even that she did something. It's not even like, oh yeah, we put you in a room and killed you, and then injected a drug and you went crazy and killed them, right? Like with your bare hands or whatever. Like, it's not something like that where you could even say, well, technically your body was the one who did. Like, we manipulated the situation, but your body was the one who did it. Yeah, I can understand some residual guilt from that, right? Because while she wasn't in control of herself and she didn't control the situation, if her body was the one who did it, yeah. So it's hard to not feel a little guilty for that, even though ultimately it's not your fault. But in this situation, it's like, no, like, she wasn't willing in the situation, and she didn't commit any crime afterwards. So it's like, how is that any way her fault? But I mean, that's how you back people into a corner. Like, I remember Elfen Lied had a really interesting portion where essentially they had this girl who didn't want to kill. And it was like, not really a girl, but kind of like an alien witch hybrid thing. She didn't want to kill. She was like, oh, I don't want to kill people. But all of the witches essentially can be killed remotely. They're essentially injected with an alien embryo into their neck, and if the alien embryo gets exposed to the air, it just like instantly melts its host. So what they did is they brought witches in front of her and killed them with the suicide method, like this method they have to just instantly kill anyone. So basically, threatening to kill her didn't work. So she's like, okay, well, we want you to do what we want you to do. So they brought these women out there and said, kill these people. And she's like, no, I don't want to. And so basically, they forced the suicide on these witches, which had them melt in front of her. And basically, in such an emotionally strenuous situation, they got her to essentially kill them out of mercy, right? Because, like, I guess melting kind of sucks, right? So she's like, okay, well, you can use your powers to kill them before they melt. And so basically, once they got that pattern ingrained in her, so it's like, yeah, we're going to kill this woman, or we're going to kill her ourselves. She would do that. And then they're like, basically they tricked her into making her want to kill other witches, because like that's her job, right? So it's like, it's really twisted, like how you can manipulate people like that, where someone who didn't want to do it at all can be manipulated into doing it. I assume that's kind of what happened for Dina. I assume Dina is trying to find meaning in all the things she's doing. And I assume she probably understood, like, even reason why she was freaking out when she wanted to be when she was told she was being sacrificed. And she's like, no, it's part of his plan. It's like, yeah, because she wants it to be part of his plan. Because if it wasn't part of his plan, she was just betrayed, right? So she's kind of been backed into this corner. She's been manipulated, and she's basically using the Exaltus plan and that to kind of like justify her own behavior, so she doesn't have to feel guilt, and she doesn't have to feel bad for being betrayed by the person she thought of as her father. All that shit. So it's crazy. But yeah, like Vivian broke away. Landon is dead, so we don't 100% know that. It seems like Vivian orchestrated a way to get out, a way to escape. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Actually, I mean, because she mentioned, on Landon's death, I thought you left. So I thought it was like, Landon died, then Vivian left. But Dina made it seem like Vivian caused his death, and then maybe that's the point when she used to escape. So maybe she was trying to orchestrate an escape, which led to Landon dying. Or who knows, maybe it was completely unrelated. Maybe Landon died for some other reason, and Vivian just used that as a golden opportunity to get the fuck out. Also, this begs the question, why is Dina so tiny? Still. Or is Landon actually her father? Because family is used very frequently in cults, so it's hard to tell if she's saying he's her father. I mean, and Vivian herself was also adopted, so she could consider Landon her father in a way. So I don't know if Dina is one of that, or she's actually his real biological daughter. But to be fair, that's kind of what the Exaltus are doing. They're essentially trying to guide human evolution to essentially become a heightened form of ethereal and shed the human body type thing, but also keep their humanity. I believe that's what they're trying to do, which would be true. If we had ethereal bodies, or the power of an ethereal body, but the intelligence of a human, yeah, we wouldn't have to fear hollows. We'd be able to go in. We wouldn't be corrupted because we're already, packed full of. We already have ethereal bodies, so we wouldn't be corrupted in the hollows, and then we'd also be all strong enough to be able to defeat any ethereals as well. So maybe realistically, what they're trying to do is not bad in and of itself. The goal of trying to make us not fear the hollows, yeah, that's a good goal. The problem is it's a ends justifies the means type thing for their cult, where they're just doing all these inhumane things to try to, quote unquote, help humanity. The problem, of course, is what? Maybe some people don't want to have human bodies, or maybe people want to keep their human bodies. It's hard to say too, because they haven't finished their testing. So is it just going to turn us into creatures that look like ethereal but have human intelligence, or is it going to be they're just going to change us so that we have so much ether we're essentially an ethereal but look identical to humans still? Hard to say, because they're still in the works and testing that shit. So, and they're just doing so many inhumane things in the meantime.
ディナはそんな父親を手伝い、祝福と呼ばれるものを授かる人間を選別する役を担っていたの。祝福を授かることで、より優れたエーテル適性に恵まれ、当時ディナと私は毎日のですが、ランドンが私にランドンは言いました。私はただ不幸をもたらす、それからというもの。ランドンは定期的に私を人に、そうして祝福を授けられた人、最初はとても嬉しかったのです。自分が祝福の薬ってまさか、そのまさかなのです。短時間で能力を大幅に向上させられる一方で、エーテル侵食症状の進行も早めてしまうのです。 投与された人のほとんどは最終的にエーテリアスはその場で処分され、三小会の理念においてサクリファイスは人間の意識を保っていることが望ましいのです。
Okay, yeah, so okay, yeah, so I was right. So basically, I was kind of hoping that they wanted to just make humans, essentially, they wanted maybe human bodies to hold as much ether as an ethereal, and essentially just be so essentially, I was kind of hoping it would be like, oh, they wanted us to be an ethereal, but in human form, essentially. So we are an ethereal by all objective measures, but we look identical to humans that have the power of an ethereal and are completely immune to ethereal corruption, like our body is just pure ether type thing, contained in a human shell, or whatever the fucking ethereal is. But it seems like they're more on the, which I thought would be okay. That might be an okay method of human evolution, but it seems like no. What they really want is they want us to become ethereal versus, well. Yeah, like I was thinking, so ethereals would be, so essentially I was thinking of the quote better way would be ethereals would become us, whereas they want us to become ethereals. Well, maybe not ethereals become us, because that'd be turning ethereals into us. I mean, basically turning the human form into an ethereal versus turning an ethereal with human consciousness. So it's like, yeah, they're just trying to basically turn us into ethereals, but still retain our consciousness. That's essentially what they're trying to do. So that's the sucky thing, is that we'd still be ethereals, which doesn't look great. Like, they look like monsters and stuff. But presumably, yeah, like if you're like, oh, well, we're going to make you an ethereal, but you're going to retain your human consciousness, then yeah, sure, you're immune to hollows, you're very powerful. I was kind of hoping that it would be the other way around, where we would have all that power, but still lose nothing about our humanity. And they're like, nope, give up your humanity, return to ethereal.
そんな時、私がディナの前で涙を流す日が訪れます。ランドンはそれを自身の信頼回復に使えると思ったの。
Oh, okay. So, Dina is his real daughter. Dina is the actual biological daughter. And so basically she's just gone insane because she cannot cope with that. So she said, nope, he has a greater plan, and I'm better because of it.
私はずっと祝福はいいことだと信じ、その日の晩、私はついにランドン、そうして行き着いたのはフォロー。かつやがてその人はエーテリア躊躇なく殺したので、ランドンが気づく前に私は住居に戻り、ディナが祝福を授かるまで私はディナを救いたかったですし、ですからその日が来た時、私は皆に向けて最初こそランドンは抗弁し、そこで私は皆の前で
Oh, interesting.
ランドン様、どうかご自身に祝福をお授けください。
Well, that does beg the question. It's like, look, Vivian is clearly a child, right? But Dina, why isn't Dina aged, right? Did Dina do something essentially once her father died? Okay, so that's basically it then. She, okay, this was a conscious decision. You could say that she directly led to his death. Although, to be fair, he received a blessing, and that blessing was his own creation. So you could be like, oh, she led to his death. She was the cause of his death. It's like, well, wasn't the real cause of his death the fact that your serum was bullshit? You know? You know? Wasn't the real cause of his death the fact that his serum doesn't work, and it's a piece of shit? And, you know? In fact, even he recognizes, like, yeah. Oh, it's Camille.
目を覚ましてください、ディナ。ビビオン、一体ランドン様の言う祝福、その正体は。
Oh, I see. He didn't get it. She died. Got it. What? Oh, the gun was pointed towards his head. I assume it went like up his head.
ディナ、私はただあなたに祝福。私だって、あなたはずっと彼がしていることを知っていた。どうするの？うぬぼれないで、ビビオン。
Okay, that's That's such dog shit. And then why is Camille? I mean, I guess I get it, right? I guess Camille feels guilty, but it's like, dude, the dude was literally doing human experimentation, convincing you that it was a blessing. But when the second it came to him, he understands that it's not a blessing. He understands that he's wrong. He understands that he's bad and not doing it correctly. And and the fact that like he hasn't had a single success, like the Exalts all said his shit was a failure. Why? Because he has not had a single success. They either get turned into ethereals or sacrifices. That's it. There's never been a single success or even a remote success he's ever had. And that's why he was losing authority. Okay, so I understand at least why Camille is a little... I don't know, though. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, so you feel guilty to Dina because, like, you end up killing her father, but it's like, dude, he's the one with the gun. He's the one who's about to shoot all of you. He's the one who's been manipulating you. If anything, that was a self-defense situation. And to be fair, his hand was on the trigger, so he was the one who shot himself. You know, it's not like you wrenched the gun from him and pointed towards him. Like, no, you were moving the gun's position, but he was the one who pulled the trigger. So, but basically, Dina is now using guilt to keep Camille in, which is understandable why Vivian would think that Camille would have left.
ランドン亡き後、あの男が残したものを引き継いでいたカミエルの家族は全員がフォローす本質的に悪人ではなく、彼女はかなり早い時期から参照会に参加し、
Yeah, I get it, right? I understand. It's a bunch of people trying to find meaning in the meaningless, and some people just can't handle that. They're just like, oh, why do bad things happen to good people? Just shit happens, right? It just shit happens. You just gotta accept it and move on. Clearly, you're going down the wrong path. Look at all the people you've hurt. Like, how is this correct? Like, especially at this point where she was a fake secretary for Perlman. Like, you clearly have the skills to live in society, so just leave the Exaltus. You know? But it's just, she's trapped emotionally. Dina is insane. Dina doesn't care how many people get hurt. I mean, she's just incredibly selfish, like a lot of people. She doesn't care how many people gets hurt as long as she's happy, right? She's like, oh yeah, as long as her father is paying attention to her, she doesn't give a shit. But she doesn't give a shit how many people get hurt to protect that. Yeah, obviously out of guilt. I mean, you say that, but it's not like, first of all, you didn't plan that at all, one. Like, I thought that maybe it was like, oh, okay. I thought what was going to happen is that she pointed to Landon and someone injected Landon with the serum. He got infected, or he got corrupted instantly and died. Right? That was my thought. And then it's like, okay, well then yeah, sure, that's kind of your fault. Like, you were the one who, but like, no, he didn't get ejected. Like, sure, you started the situation, but he's the one who pulled the gun on you. Like, what? It's not like, if it was that he got injected with the serum, then yeah, sure, you could blame yourself. Because it's like you were the one who made that happen, but he didn't. He pulled the gun on you to avoid injecting himself with the serum, and in a scuffle, as he tried to kill you, he shot himself. Right? How is that your fault? It's his fault for being a piece of shit and lying to a bunch of children and manipulating them. And then when things went south, he tried to kill you all.
あるいは本当に不幸の引き金なんて、ディナとカミエルだって本当のこと、フォローが奪っていった誰かの家族。
Yeah, true. Dina knew. Camille probably knows, but she's just too caught up in guilt because she did kill her. She blames herself for killing Camille's father, or Dina's father, which kinda is true, kinda is not. Like, it was his own gun, and he was the one who pulled the trigger. Just because you pushed the gun pointing towards his chest at that moment he pulled doesn't really make it your fault, especially when it was him or you. He was literally trying to kill you all. It's like, yeah, so, but, you know, she was kind of trapped. She cared for Dina, and if she left, Dina would have nobody, so she stayed out of guilt, being like, I led to your father's death, so I'll make sure that you're not alone. And then Dina just went fucking insane, because she's always been kind of insane.
もっと自分を信じてあげて、ビビアン。
Yeah, and like, it's like, sure, this all happened when you were a child. Oh, maybe you may bring misfortune, but what about the 10 years or so? Because it looks like it's been about 10 years, right? Like, she looked like she was under 10 years old at this point in that picture. So it's been 10 years. Like, how much misfortune have you caused since then, right? None? Okay, well, then clearly, like, people feared you, but it wasn't your fault. And they used you, but again, it wasn't your fault. And since then, since you're no longer feared or used, you haven't caused any sort of issue, so obviously it's not you.
それに言ってたじゃん。今のその言葉は話を聞いてくださってもう何年も前のことですが、今日リナに全てお話しする機会をください。ハエトーン様はこれからも。はい。今日私は再度サクリファイスのおやすみなさい。
Is that it? Like, is that the end of the epilogue, or are we gonna have one final? So they think that the core was swapped out at that point. I assumed Hugo stole it. I assumed Hugo gave a fake to his father or stepfather or whatever, uncle. I assume Hugo gave a fake to Ravenlock and always intentionally kept the real one.
What the? What the? Huh? Inna? What the? What the? わたただわたみんなだわたみんなわたわたたみんなだわたみんなわた
But yeah, like literally no one does things this way. No one using a food ordering app uses it like this. Where they drive they go to the location of the food place, then open up the app, and then after placing their order, leave before picking it up, right? Like it's just not how it works. It's like when you get Taco Bell, when you open the Taco Bell app, the whole point of using the app is that you place your order on your way to the Taco Bell, right? You're going to Taco Bell or McDonald's or whatever fast food place, you put your order in so that by the time you get to the location, all you have to do is go through the drive-thru, say, hey, I placed this order on the app, this is my order, I'm going to pay for it. Or maybe, it's an app that already took your payment, I'm picking up that order, right? Problem solved. And you just go through, pick it up, and get the fuck out, right? Like, no one goes to a place. Like, I wouldn't go to Taco Bell, wait in the drive-thru, and then use the app while I'm in the drive-thru to order, and then once I've placed my order, drive off. Even if they have like Uber, like even if it's like an Uber Eats or something, where it's like, oh, you have drivers and shit. It's like that's not how that works either. Like, no one would go. Like, the whole point of using the app is either A, to have it be prepared so that you can pick it up and leave immediately, right? So you essentially don't have to get here, wait in line, order, and then wait for the order. It's like, no, you place your order like 15 to 30 minutes before you arrive, so that by the time you get there, it's fully ready, and then you can just pick it up and leave. That's the point of doing something like that. Or the other way around, using the app from another location so that it gets delivered to wherever you are. So that way you don't have to leave wherever you are to go to the food place and then bring back your food. That's the whole point of these apps. And they're like, you know what? We're going to do it in the stupidest way possible. Where you've shown up and you're waiting for your food. And this is like fast food. This is not like, nothing he's preparing is hard, takes long to make. Like, sure, maybe, if the potato wedges, maybe if they were not fried, like maybe he used the last one in the last order and he needs to fry up some new ones. Yeah, sure, that could add another 5 minutes to the wait time. But like, all this shit will be ready within like, within like 10 to 20 minutes, right? So it's like, why would you come here, use the app, and then leave? And like, to be fair, we do interact with them, so maybe they were prepared to wait. And like, at least with the girl with work, it's like, yeah, she has to clock in for work, so there is a time crunch for that. But like, why were you planning to show up here and order a bunch of food before going to work and being unable to eat it because you're now working? Like, it'd be one thing if it was like, oh man, my lunch break's gonna end, but like, it's still regardless of your break or whatever, like, you can't eat because you're clocking in for work. So even if we deliver you your food, you cannot eat it because you are working. And the food she ordered was all hot or cold, which means you have to eat it right then and there. So it's like, the premise of this is dumb. It's a fun little event. It's a fun little silly event, but like, the premise is so stupid because like the fix is so easy. Just have everybody be at the location we deliver to. So we would have to go to them, like, get their order, come back here, and bring your order back. Like, that would make sense. Because that's how, like, sure, it wouldn't make sense for us to go there, like, and talk to them first, because, like, you order through the app and we would just pick it up and deliver. But, like, they could still use the whole, oh, our ordering app is screwy. Or it got lost or whatever, so that's why we have to get the order in person. But even still, it's so dumb. It's a fun little event. It doesn't take much time, but yeah, the premise, it was just as stupid as it was the first time. Anyway, but that's all I can do today. I thought I would be able to wrap up that quest, but apparently it's not just a two-parter, it's a three-parter, so I guess I'll work on it a little bit more tomorrow. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.